Ricky Carmichael and all of his fans have been waiting for. He's going for his 100th AMA victory. That's Supercross and Motocross wins combined. He's been running the number 99 on his pants the last 2 days. That 99 is gone as he hopes to capture 100.
So Ricky goes for 100. Kevin Windham looking to get on the podium. Should be an interesting moto number 2. As we take a look at our Honda starting grid, Carmichael, Windham, and Reed. Sean Hamlin, the word is he has an injury to his elbow. He will not be racing. I repeat, not racing here in moto number 2. Joaquin Rodriguez has got his bike figured out on the KTM. He will be in there, as will the rest of the crew. Rusty Holland and Brandon Butler also in there, and Tommy Hoffmaster. Good to see him running the outdoor series. So here we are. Ernesto Fonseca getting geared up, ready to roll. Will he get 100, Cameron? That is the big question. If you're a betting man, I think the odds are in his favor. But as we know, anything can happen.
Well, after his performance in moto number 1, how can you guess against him? Let's see how he does in the start.
The drag race down to that big right-hand turn.
Looks like everybody threw cleanly there, and guess who?
Ricky Carmichael, your leader, picking up the whole shot here in moto number 2, goes to a tear-off right away, hoping that he won't have to do that again because he'll stay out of the roost until he gets to lap traffic. But the track looks good for the final moto of the day. Picks himself a nice fat rut and digs in.
Yeah, the track is really set up. There's still a couple slippery spots. You'll see the tires blown out, and also a couple loose berms. Watch them on the off cameras, but Ricky has been picture perfect, and a great start for Michael Byrne, who was right there in second, third, as it may be now, and maybe even slipping back to fourth, because we know Villeman and Reed were right there as well.
Green flag is out. Carmichael leads them through with a pair of Yamahas behind him. Chad Reed currently running in third place.
And Villeman we saw come with the second place. In Hangtown, we know he has the speed. He's one of the greatest riders we have on the circuit. We'll see if he can hold off his teammate.
David Villeman, number 12, making changes this year throughout the Supercross series as he departs his relationship with David Bailey as his trainer and decides to go it alone, try some new things. New father, so all kinds of changes in the Cobra's life. Number 12, David Villeman, originally from France, now living in Texas, and he takes a look over his shoulder as he hears Chad Reed coming on that 4-stroke.
And he just swung it wide, almost like professional courtesy, because he knows that Chad is also racing for the overall. I mean, Villeman was third. Right. He's mixed up in the overall, but maybe he thinks Chad has a better shot of catching up to Ricky.
And the way it's set up, if Chad Reed gets the victory in moto number 2 over Carmichael by virtue of a 2 and a 1 in the second moto, he would get the overall, thus keeping Ricky from getting 100 today on a beautiful day in Budds Creek.
And Chad grabbing a tear-off. You can see there's definitely some braking bumps, but it hasn't set up really rough anywhere on the track. I mean, in the couple years past, definitely seen more, and that could be due to weather, and the weather's just been perfect here. And Chad blasting through this corner, heading for the Henry Hill, as they call it, where Doug Henry accidentally jumped down and ended up breaking his back a few years back.
Unbelievable.
And, yeah, just unbelievable image. And this is it right here. Henry actually took off from there and landed down right about there in the corner. So definitely a scary crash. And Doug Henry now racing Supermoto and heading for the X Games as some of his contemporaries or the newer faces of motocross battle it out here. And oh, look at that. Going down, washing.
David Ganolfi, number 461, getting together there momentarily, it looked like, with Kevin Windham, who's running way back in 21st position.
And a tough break for David. I mean, he was running in a pretty good position. You see Windham just on the gas and just sliding it around the corner, comes back in, and David wasn't able to stop, hooks the back high sides, puts his leg out, and hopefully he just gets right back on the bike, and this is a tough break for him.
Tommy Hoffmaster running in 20th place, number 93. When I think of Hoffmaster, I think of that start he got in Salt Lake City this year in the Supercross, just a beautiful hole shot, and then he gave it all away. So that's racing. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie Little, who's standing by with Jonathan Hyland.
Jonathan, we're having a hard time finding you today. You're kind of hiding out over here, and you don't look too happy. What's going on with K-Dub?
I have no idea. Last week in Southwood, we had a good race. Got third, considering he doesn't like sand and everything. And I don't know. It's just one of those weekends. The weather's great, but we didn't get a good jump off the gate. Uphill battle the whole race now, so it's one of those weekends. But what is it? 6 more races to go, so it's still a long season, but just a hard weekend.
Hard weekend indeed for his man, number 14, Kevin Windham, who finished 4th in Moto number 1. And I don't know, Cameron, I mean, with Ricky riding the way he is, you can't give him anything.
You definitely can, and even with Reedy and Villeman's been on the gas, you got to be there every time. And Tim Ferry looking for some lines, and James Pavoni just having another good moto up there right now in 5th place, unfortunately sliding back. But that is Tim Ferry, and I know he's coming back from injury, but Tim's so fast, a guy that can win motos. He's proven that in the past, and I think as he gets back up to speed from his injury of his wrist, I think he's going to become more and more of a factor. We'll see him up there with Chad and with David and maybe with Ricky Carmichael.
We talked about the Moto Nations team possibly being put together for the Team USA. Tim Ferry would not be a bad addition to that team if you could get Ricky and Bubba on there as well.
Well, especially with it being, like we said, at a sand track or a pseudo sand track, and Tim Ferry coming from Florida, and definitely no stranger to railing the sandy berms.
So Tim Ferry moves up to 4th place. Just ahead of him is number 26 on board the Kawasaki in 4th. That is Michael Byrne, and a well-placed rider on a 2-stroke.
And for sure, and you know, I was talking to his mechanic and even Michael Byrne, and I think they're just frustrated. I think they just weren't clicking on everything. And it seems like this weekend he's picked it up just a little bit. We'll have to talk to him and see what maybe some of the changes are, but definitely looks focused. He's more in the fray, and unfortunately, Tim Ferry looks like he's going to get by him, but he's carrying the speed. We'll look for Tim to see if he can find some different lines, and I don't think it's just the 4-stroke. I think Timmy's carrying his speed in the corners faster. If you watch, he's setting up apex in the corners a little bit differently, and there he goes way to the inside looking for a line around, and we'll see as they go into these off-camber corners, there's some ruts developed on the outside, or some nice berms, and
yeah, Ferry's trying to make that 4-stroke work for him as he drops in there trying to drop the wheel in and see if he can get the power drive out of it. Michael Byrne doing a great job, though, of holding him off. So it is Byrne currently running in 4th, Tim Ferry running in 5th, trying to move up. Your leader continues to be that man, Ricky Carmichael, number 4 on board the 4-stroke Honda. When we come back, more from Budds Creek, Maryland. Your running order, Carmichael, Reed, and Villeman, top 3. Welcome back, Budds Creek, Maryland. Moto number 2, your leader, Ricky Carmichael, number 4, out in front. Got the whole shot and has not looked back. It has been a good day for Ricky Carmichael. And Cameron looks like number 100, despite the face that Gosler's putting on there. Mike Gosler looks pretty nervous. It looks like Ricky is in line to get that 100th victory.
Yeah, for sure. Game face. And you see Tim Ferry trying some different lines. A lot of people have been going to the outside, and Timmy trying to go inside, and then maybe apex his corner, carry a little speed. Whoa. Cuts to the inside, and not going to be able to make it stick just yet. And he'll dive to the inside, and yeah, Red Dog going to it.
Lulling Michael Byrne into a sense of comfort right there as Byrne goes high and wide. And Tim Ferry, number 15 on board that Yamaha, the 4-stroke, drops inside and moves up yet another position. Well, it's a good battle here. Your friend, James Pavoni Jr., number 64, running in 6th place right now, but Ernesto Fonseca, number 24 on board the Honda 2-stroke, picks him off.
And Fonseca just risked it more there. He held the gas on longer and flew farther down Henry Hill there and just could drive farther into the corner. And then
this is the battle for 10th right here. Clark Stiles, number 34, 108 is Joaquin Rodriguez, and Kevin Windham, number 14, has moved up quite a bit from his 21st position.
Windham having a bit of a tough go working through traffic, and Joaquin Rodriguez has had a ton of bad luck and some injuries, and seems to be on the gas. A bad first motor for Joaquin. We saw his bike shut off, and look at that. Joaquin going inside on the Alabama Slammer, Clark Stiles, and he gets by, but Clark's not giving up. But look at this, right by both of them. Windham comes up on the inside of that off-camber and just goes on outside and pushes Joaquin just a little bit, takes both positions.
Wow. So Kevin Windham was in 21st place, is now sitting in 10th and moving up.
And you see he sets it up, gets on the gas, and drives to that inside. Now he knows he's got to drift to the outside because of how steep this is, how sharp this edge is. But he sees he's got the wheel on him, just going to go out, give a little push, actually uses Joaquin as the berm, as we say, takes the line, and actually he blows over the line. He was looking at Joaquin, goes to the outside, and a great move by Kevin Windham.
All right, so Kevin Windham is in the top 10 now, and he's not happy with that. This is Neese in front of him. We'll see if he can pick this one off. Jim Neese is number 142.
And you see Kevin using the lines. He went outside in. Now let's see what he does here. Setting up. He's going to take that outside line, and then he's going to sweep around, try to set himself up for a different line. Real smart racing by Kevin Windham. staying out of the roost, but also picking other lines that he can go fast on. You know, obviously there's a faster line than any other on the track, and Nice is probably in the fastest line, so Kevin has to be a faster and smarter rider to be able to get around him.
And a little creativity doesn't hurt, and this time it pays off for Kevin Windham. Jim Nice has to go wide on that one, and Kevin Windham moves up another position. So Windham now sitting in 9th, and it was just moments ago it seemed like that he got together with Janolfi, and he got 21st. So Windham gets a face full of roost, but he's in 9th place and moving up fast. As Windham continues to work his way around, we remind you that Ricky Carmichael continues to lead. He is out in front, and he did pick up the victory in moto number 1. Craig Anderson is just ahead of Windham, currently sitting in 8th.
And Craig's been, you know, really a guy that he's been off the pace. It's just kind of weird. At times in practice, he shows some real speed, and he was one of those guys a lot of people were talking about when he came over from Australia. You know, with the speed, and you know, he has the physical training, and we saw him win an outdoor national last year in the 125 class, but he just hasn't had a lot of success.
Craig Anderson, number 30, as Cameron pointed out, from Australia, the cousin to Chad Reed, a very talented rider, and we expect big things in the future, but, you know, transition is definitely taking its toll on him right now, and hopefully it's not shattering his confidence too much, but the kid certainly does have ability. Right now it's 64 Pavoni, 30 is Anderson, and here comes Kevin Windham looking for the 2-for-1 pass. Looks like he's got the positioning on Anderson. Does he drop it on the inside here? Yes.
You see him work the brakey bumps and fall to the inside. Look at this, drop it to the inside again. Just great moves by Kevin Windham all around this track here. And
wow, it just makes you think, what if Kevin Windham had a better start?
Yeah, that's the frustrating part. I'm not sure what was going on with his starts here. You know, the start on this moto, he's so far back.
So Kevin Windham now sits in 8th place as he moves up with James Pavoni just in front of him. Ricky Carmichael continues to lead with Chad Reed also up in the front of the pack. But Kevin Windham, we're keeping a close eye on him because he got 4th, in the first moto, and he needs to place better here if he wants any shot at getting on the podium.
And definitely working the lines on Pavoni. And if Pavoni, even if Pavoni gives up this spot to Kevin Windham, he's still going to finish inside the top 10 as long as he doesn't keep moving backwards. But right now, he's fighting it out with K-Dub. I mean, this is a guy who won nationals last year, and he needs to get a break, but Pavoni's doing a great job keeping him at bay.
And just as Cameron says that, Windham goes to the outside. Look at him dropping the throttle down there, brings the nose up, keeps it down, comes on the corner, hugs it a little bit. Not as tight as I thought he would, but Pavoni was right behind him, so he didn't have to protect the inside line. And now Kevin Windham is in 7th place. So the Windham onslaught continues as Ricky Carmichael runs away with it out in front. Carmichael picked up the whole shot here in moto number 2 in front of his grandfather, dedicating the victory, or his 100th victory, which he hopes comes today at Budds Creek. We'll step aside when we come back. We'll wrap things up. The 2004 AMA Chevrolet Motocross Championships have been brought to you by Suzuki, maker of performance-driven motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. By Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. By Chevrolet, 10 new cars and trucks in 20 months. The new Chevrolet, an American revolution. And by Cycle World Magazine, the most widely read and trusted source for motorcycling information. So it comes down to this, Ricky Carmichael on a quest. Not looking for the Holy Grail, but looking for the century mark. The 100th victory is within his grasp, but we've got some great battling behind him. Kevin Windham moving up to the pack, now running even with Michael Byrne in the battle for 5th.
And just using the lines again, outside in, pushes Burner out to the outside and just swoops it away. Great job for Burner. He's been riding great today, but Kevin Windham, I think he just had something to prove in this moto, you know, getting far back and probably a little frustrated. And speaking of something to prove, Red Dog's proven that he has been training and coming back quickly from his injury.
No question about Tim Ferry, number 15's fitness level as the white flag comes out for Ricky Carmichael. 1 lap to go to greatness. Carmichael on track to pick up his 100th victory. And Cameron, what can you say that we haven't said about this guy already? He has been absolutely phenomenal. Pound for pound, the best motorcycle racer in the world.
Well, he's definitely proven that he's the best current rider, but the record books also dictate that he is the best rider ever. I mean, you've got your arguments, all the riders, everybody has their favorites, but the record books don't lie, and it says he's the best, and watching him, you got to believe it.
Love him or hate him, the kid can ride that thing like no one else. Ricky Carmichael has been phenomenal. This is the white flag lap, and with that, let's send it down to Jamie Little one more time, who's with his mechanic, Mike Gosler.
Mike, I know the credit always goes to the rider for his wins and his records, but what would this 100th victory mean to you?
It's just a great thing to be a part of, you know. I mean, it's amazing the guy's won that many races, but I think he's just as hungry, you know, the 100th win or the 10th win. He still wants to win really bad.
And to be affiliated with a rider that's so talented.
Yeah, I mean, it makes work so much more gratifying, you know. Great.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Not over yet.
Goose needs to relax. Look at his rider. This guy is just unbelievable. Ricky Carmichael, go ahead and take that patch of 99 off his britches and get ready to drop the century mark on there. He's done everything we thought he would, Cameron, and then some.
I think now he just pays it off by going for the perfect season this year again and just silencing anybody who ever doubted Ricky Carmichael. And it's going to be an interesting year next year, obviously, with the change, but just to be able to go to the races and watch this guy race and talk to him, and he's such a good guy, a personable guy. He works hard. I mean, he deserves everything he gets.
And I think the key there is work. This guy works non-stop. Your winner, 250 class, on the day, Ricky Carmichael picks up the magical 100. And you think he's not happy. Unbelievable.
It's, no matter how much he pressed for it, when it actually happens,
yeah,
it's just the emotion, and I think a victory lap has been well-deserved at this one.
It has been a team effort. Ricky Carmichael has done the work. Honda's been there for him. Oakley, Fox, the list goes on and on. As we take a look at the Suzuki final results, Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed, David Billaman, Tim Ferry, and Kevin Windham ends up in the top 5. James Pavoni, a good run for him as he finishes up in 11th. Right now, let's send it down to Jamie with the winner.
Well, nobody thought they'd see anybody beat Jeremy McGrath's record for all-time wins, but Ricky Carmichael just did it. 100 wins. Ricky, you're only 24. How does that happen?
I tell you, man, I can't believe it. It's really a milestone, and to win 100 races, man, it makes me feel old. But like you said, I'm only 24, and to be up there with guys like Jeremy, and it feels unbelievable. I am so happy. I know it's going to sink in tomorrow, and the day went so awesome for it to happen. You know, on Father's Day, and my papa's here, and oh man, I'm just so happy. I can't believe it. Like 100 wins. It doesn't even seem like I've raced that many times.
You love this place. You've won here for 5 years in a row. What a great Father's Day present for your dad.
Heck of a Father's Day present, you know. I'm really pumped to have a dad like I do. You know, he sacrificed a lot, along with a lot of the other fathers also. And I'm really lucky, and I tell you, to get this 100th win for myself and my whole team behind me that has helped me from the first win, it's awesome.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Well, he has certainly earned it, and it looks like a XXX jersey with all 100 wins of Fox Skull and Crossbones on there. Ricky has earned every single one of them, and check it out, Carmichael, Reed, Billaman. Big news for James Pavoni, getting his best ever finish at 9th, and let's go back to Jamie.
Well, there's been 4 races, and Chad Reed has been on the podium all 4 times for the overalls. You're getting better all the time, Chad, and I know this is something new for you. Outdoor Nationals only 2nd year, but how are you feeling at this point?
Definitely, it's tough. You know, I'm racing the winningest rider of all times, and that's a great achievement for Ricky. You know, 100 wins, and congratulating him on that. And you know, I'm just looking forward to taking steps forward and trying to get out there and racing. Try to get out there close to myself and learn. I'm having a lot of fun this year. My 4-stroke's running awesome. You know, the guys made it a lot smoother, a lot easier for us to ride. And well, the guys, Thor, Putz, and Limit, are doing a great job, and I'm happy to be here.
And our congratulations to Ricky Carmichael on the victory. After 4 races, he has got a perfect 200 points. Chad Reed said it best. What an accomplishment.